Here we are.
Hey! Hello, world out there.
Hello, we're here.
Hello,
again.
Duchess. According to Duchess, in our last episode, we didn't look at the camera, so now we're going to look at the camera a lot.
We're going to try to do it more.
Yes.
We might forget, though. I might forget.
But I will. Once we start talking, I know I'll forget too. Because
Yeah, me too.
You know what? It's impolite not to,
to
be
look
looking
at
at the person that you're talking to.
We agree. As usual, we agree.
Um,
Well, we don't always agree.
Well, I just want to say, in case you just tuned in and you don't know what you're watching, this is the FtMtF Podcast, a discussion of life, transgender issues, and whatever else we feel
Comes out
like
of our
talking
mouth.
about. I'm Nikki Jackson, and this is Jake Alfieri.
Hello.
And so we were actually just... Oh, by the way... everybody, happy Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
That's right, happy Cinco de Mayo.
This is why I've got my Mexicana outfit on. And it is also Jake's birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. It's been a very happy birthday so far.
And it's going to get a little bit better after the podcast, right?
It's going to get better.
COVID creation for
Absolutely.
what to do at homes. Number of activities possible.
Yes, especially on a birthday.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. You have to be creative.
Yes. I think we have to be creative on all our birthdays.
I agree with that, too. I think we have to be creative in life every day. I mean, that's, as an artist, of course, I think that.
Yeah.
I try to live that.
So, on my birthday, which was in March, Jake gave me this great cupcake. It was amazing, but it was like a ceramic cupcake. Looks
plaster.
Perfect. Plaster.
That's right, but it looks ceramic.
It looked. Okay, this is your area. It was something hard.
Yeah.
I couldn't eat it.
No,
but
they looked like you could eat them.
It looked amazing.
Yeah.
And,
well, I'm glad you liked it.
Oh, thank you very much. And so sadly, all I could do was make you that. The little,
Sadly, no.
The little mask.
Don't say things like that.
But
look at this. Look at this amazing mask that Nikki made for me.
Yeah, that does look pretty butch.
Come on, it looks pretty badass.
That's why
I don't know if you can hear me, but it looks badass, right?
So I just so you know, it is made. I didn't because you were running off on your phone. I was like, here, take this. That's made out of 100% duvetine, so it's inherently flame retardant, and it's photo negative. So you can wear it like on a set, and nobody will see your face.
Okay, well, I'm gonna wear it even after this all is over, just to scare people.
That'll work.
Halloween you probably couldn't hear me.
Halloween is coming up close.
Exactly.
I was talking with somebody where the concept came up of mashing up the Pride Parade, which has been canceled.
Yes.
Sadly, for this year, with the Halloween parade down in the village.
Oh, but that's actually not a bad idea.
I think that's a mess.
You think it's?
I think.
Well, there you go. We don't always agree. There was one of those moments.
I think that was good. That would be such a crash and burn.
You do? I would think it would be so because everybody's so psyched on Halloween and on Pride, and Pride is people in costumes too.
So. When I used to run the Fat Black Pussycat down in the village, right? Mm-hmm. I remember the Pride Parade. Not the Pride Parade. I remember that too. But the Halloween Parade.
Yes.
Remember back in the day, in Washington Square Park, and everyone was like cool.
Yep.
And you could smoke a joint and blow it literally in a cop. It was like the one day a year you could smoke a joint and blow it at a cop, and they wouldn't do anything. It was a different vibe, I think, back then.
Absolutely.
So
it's a different time.
A completely different time.
Different time.
Now, the Halloween parade, it's chaos.
I haven't been there in how many years? I would have to think. I would have to think how many years I haven't been there.
It's a busy night for the village.
Yes.
But it's a little amateur hour, and so just think. Taking really drunk bridge and tunnel people, mashing them up with
gay people,
with the LGBT in our rainbow and unicorn.
You know what? I mean, you have a point. I mean, it would be an interesting experiment.
Oh my goodness, no! I think it's a you know what?
But they're not going to do that anyway.
No. That's not going to. And I'm glad for it. So, Something I wanted to bring up. So something else that somebody wrote into me about was that apparently FtMtF was a term for detransitioning, which I'd never heard before.
Which I'd never heard before either. So that's very interesting. That's something that we're going to have to, I mean, not that we have to look into it, but I had never heard of anyone that started transitioning and then wanted to change and go back. But you had mentioned that you read a few.
I'd seen a few articles about it. And there's a couple of famous cases too of people that like sort of transitioned and then tried to transition back. I have never met anyone that has done that.
Me either. I mean, I honestly, to tell you the truth, it's the first time I'm hearing about it today from you, and I'm a little bit shocked.
Yeah, I've got to believe that it's got to be probably the most minute percentage.
It has
because
to be.
If you fought this hard
to get here,
exactly,
there's no way that you are turning back.
Right, there's a hurdle every step of the way to cause you to doubt yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, and there's there's many opportunities for you before the process begins.
Oh yeah, sure.
To think maybe this isn't really for me. Maybe this isn't what I want to do.
And that's why I found the videos.
Right.
Because I was trying to play devil's advocate, with myself.
Right.
Where, what do I have to look forward to? What are the hurdles I'm going to have to overcome?
You were getting knowledge about what was going to happen.
Right.
I mean, that makes sense.
Right, like what's going to happen to my body, what's going to happen in my life, what's going to happen as I come out, what are the legal issues, yada, 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 yada.
See, and I did none of that.
Well, I think you are such a strong person.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that you're welcome. Thank you for being you. That it didn't matter. It was happening anyway.
That's it. Because when people have said to me, "You're so brave," and all of these things, which is a wonderful thing. I mean that they recognize that. But for me, it wasn't. It didn't seem courageous and brave because as soon as I realized it, that was it. Like you're saying. That was it. This is what I was doing.
Right.
All right. This is who I figured out who I really am, and whatever the road is going to be, whether it's going to be hard, soft, or whatever, I'm doing it. So and there was once I realized there was no doubt. Did you have any doubt in the beginning when you? Because I didn't have any.
I had confusion. I don't want to say it was doubt.
Right. Well, the unknown is always that way.
Yeah, but it felt inexorable, right? It felt like it had to happen. In a sense, like I couldn't stop myself, right? Or it could. It was a process that couldn't or shouldn't be stopped.
No, but you also didn't want to stop. I mean, it wasn't that you wanted to stop.
No,
I mean, you never got to a point where you said, well, maybe I'm taking it. Maybe I'm going a little too fast.
Well, it wasn't too fast. It was never that I'm going too fast. It was like, maybe it was a bit of, not doubt, but questioning. Like, okay, so in one's mind as you grow up, right? You build these stereotypes of what life is supposed to be like.
Well, and they're illusions, by the way.
Of course.
You build them. You still build them. Build them anyway.
Right.
We're taught to build them.
Right. It's fed to us.
Absolutely. From jump.
Exactly. These gender roles, these gender constructs.
What you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it. They even have a timeline. If you're 25 or 30, you got to be married. You have to have kids. You have to have a secure career by that point.
Exactly. How much you should be making every year.
If you go past 30 and you don't have a real job, so to speak, people look at you like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Right. So, I feel, I can confidently say that a lot of my journey, the doubts along the way were not really doubts. It was me chiseling away at those constructs to get to the point where I could actually self-actualize, right? So I could I could say it was like wearing a parka in the summertime.
Right. Being a little reluctant to take it off.
Exactly, until you finally do.
Well, I mean, I had a glimmer of what you're, a tiny little sliver of what you're talking about. And that was way in the beginning when I was starting the testosterone. And it was not that I wanted to not transition, but I was wondering, about those effects, which I didn't really get into it.
The
as
physical
much.
effects?
Yeah, the physical effects. All right. And did I really want facial hair? Do I want to look, all of that? But now, I mean, it was for a very short time, and I didn't let it stop me, obviously. And now, I think I mentioned this to you last week, was, they would have to rip my testosterone out of my cold dead hands. Yeah.
Right.
So that's the end of that story.
Oh, while we're on it, I made a quick PSA. This is related to hormones. It just popped into my head. And COVID. Because...
And you did. That was your discovery.
Well...
Before it came out, before I saw anybody talking about it, you told me.
Well, thank you very much. So the note is to anybody watching out there, if you're on HRT or you are at a high risk of blood clots, one of the permutations of the COVID virus is that it causes severe blood clotting. Nick Cordero, who was a Broadway performer, lost his leg, and that's actually the thing that that made
severe.
me. Yeah, it's pretty severe. There's a thing with kids, with children. It's called COVID toes, where their toes turn like black and blue out of nowhere.
My word.
And
that must be alarming.
Yeah, and then there's people in their 30s and their 40s that are going to the hospitals with strokes out of nowhere.
Okay, well,
So-
that's scary.
Yeah, it's super scary.
Because I already have high blood pressure, so I don't need that.
Well-
I didn't need to hear that.
Do high blood pressure and clots go together?
Not clots, but strokes.
That's true.
Yeah, that's the only... And, of course, testosterone raises your blood pressure. And then my doctor also told me, Catherine, glad...
Yes.
At Callan Lords,
Kat.
right? And Callan Lords, if any of you are out there and do not have a great provider or a place to go for your transitioning, or if you're gay and you just feel uncomfortable in other doctor's offices, you have to go to Callan Lords.
100%.
All right, you have to.
There's 2 offices, one downtown.
Chelsea, one in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And they, I mean, the staff, the whole way they operate, everything that they do is designed to be kind and understanding and accepting. There's, right?
Yeah. No,
I mean, it's amazing. So go there.
It's 100%
Look it up.
amazing, please.
You'd be very, very happy that you did, without a doubt.
Let me see if I'm... Oh, no. Okay. So...
But yeah, you were talking about the blood clots. That's very scary.
Yeah, so with the blood clots, if you are at risk of blood clots just because of life factors, or you should know, then make sure that you go talk to your healthcare provider and find out what they have to say. All right?
Yes,
Just be aware that it is a related COVID permutation without any other outward symptoms, right?
Yeah.
So so we're talking about like taking estrogen or taking hormone, in your case,
Right.
testosterone, and having doubt. No, I I couldn't get mine fast enough.
Right.
So I actually started my transition, my things holistically.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I had like 12 vitamins that I would take, or 12 supplements I would take daily to help feminize my body.
Interesting. I didn't realize there was anything out there that could, on that
Yes.
level, that could do that.
You have to take a lot of it.
Well, that's with vitamins all across the boards with everything. If you're trying to get healthy because of vitamins, you got to take a lot of them.
Right.
And it's got to be over a period of time.
Right.
It's not like, oh, today I feel sick. Let me take vitamins. And then tomorrow you don't do it. Or the next week you don't do it.
Right.
It's the same.
No, it's got to be consistent.
Yeah,
it's got to be regular, and it's got to be so it's always being released in your body. But
Exactly.
Especially with estrogen. See, remind me, I've got to ask you this question. Estrogen is a significantly weaker hormone to begin with, and then to try to do it holistically, I did it with soy, isoflavones, and flaxseed.
And did you really feel the difference? I mean, you felt
Yeah. It was slow and it took a while, but Things definitely started to change.
Right.
Slowly, and you know what? This is a marathon. It's not a.
Oh no, you don't. No.
It's not a sprint.
No.
Definitely, once I started taking things started to change a lot faster.
Yeah. But it still takes time. I mean, it even takes time for the testosterone.
Now, estrogen is it's a slower process. With you, when you started taking tea, did things start happening quickly? Was it a fast? Did you feel like it was a fast process?
No, it took time. I would say, it really it took like maybe even a year, even though I can't say that for certain because I really wasn't clocking it like that. When I started seeing the physical changes in my face, that was, the first thing that I noticed. All right, was that my face sort of like
became
squared.
Angular.
Yeah, it squared. Then as, time went on, I lost my hips, my butt, there was definitely, my shoulders are now wider than my hips. All right. And then, of course, the testosterone, even though I was always very strong, I mean, it kicked up my strength like unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
could feel it, after it started building up.
That took like a year.
Feel it, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It took like a year. And what I didn't know at the time, because again, I didn't do the wonderful research that you did. I went right into the whole thing, because that's what I do. But now I'm gonna say I don't know what the hell I was gonna just say right now about the testosterone.
No, you're talking about strength and the
right. I started really feeling the strength that it gave me. It was unbelievable. I mean, I'm like Bam Bam, like I said.
Well, I still notice changes happening for myself. I mean, I wish I could pull out a couple of ribs so I could get more.
People actually do that.
There's only a couple of people who have actually done that.
You see those crazy girls that do it, that want their waist to be skinnier and they take out their ribs.
I've heard that's an urban myth.
I saw pictures of these women. I guess they could be a fake.
It's really hard to take a rib out. So
I'm certainly sure it's painful too.
They do waist trainers, right? Where they have the thing that like sucks them in.
Sucks them in, yeah.
And kind of squishes everything together. But that's temporary. It's not a bone thing.
Right.
But because I had looked at that too, I was like, I've come to accept that I'm going to have Nadia Comaneci's body.
You have a muscular. I mean, there's certain things that it doesn't
That's
change.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's your body. I mean,
right.
There's nothing that you can do.
So we were talking about like last week, right? We've had like new conversations about like how I feel like my nose is not where I want it to be, and changing my chin and whatnot. The other small little thing for me would be getting more, slimming down my chest. I was watching an episode of the original Star Trek last night, I forgot which episode it was. But Spock and Kirk, they beam down to a planet, and then there's like these two beautiful women that are there, and I got to be honest, the outfits they're wearing, I'm like, I've got to make that, right?
They had some cool outfits. The women on that.
It was just like this, but it just like
went totally tight.
Came around and that was it. And I would just remember, like, first of all, how does that like not fall out? And then the other one was like, damn, look at that, like
skinny,
tiny little chest section. So I tried to see if it was possible to have your ribs removed, and nobody reputable really will do it.
Yeah, the pictures that I saw of women who did it, first of all, it looked deformed.
Yeah.
All right, number one. And I can't imagine the pain that they must have gone through to do that.
Because they got to open you up, they got to crack the rib, like break it and get it out.
If you've ever had your ribs bruised, you know how painful it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very painful.
Yeah, no, I would also think that the risk, like once you start looking at it, like the risk of spinal injury.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a major thing you shouldn't be taking out. Yeah. But you know what? I wrote this down now because I just want to go back for 1 second to tell you what I was going to say about the testosterone.
Oh, yes, please.
That the facial hair was the longest that it took.
Really?
to come out. Yep, that took the longest. I really only started seeing that in this last year, and that's like 4 years already.
I'm so
Yeah,
surprised.
yeah. And the other thing I didn't know was that, which is the reason why so many men are bald, is testosterone causes your hair to fall out.
Well, yes.
It causes it to grow everywhere else.
Yeah, it'll grow out of your ears.
But right, everywhere, your nose, no matter what. Okay, but it makes the hair on your head fall out.
Yes, it does.
That was the only thing.
That's what they call malpotine baldness.
It wouldn't stop me from taking it. All right, but I could have lived without my hair falling out.
I can't tell if my hair has gotten thinner or gotten thicker. If I've,
Yeah, well, mine was.
I was very afraid. My grandfather on my mother's side went bald at a very young age.
Yeah, he had a lot of testosterone then.
Probably. But he also, his advice to me was like, don't wear hats.
Don't wear that. I've heard that before too.
Don't wear hats.
I've heard that before.
I was like, okay, so I historically don't wear hats unless it's absolutely
I used
necessary.
to pull because my hair was always long, and I used to pull it back all the time.
Well,
That's what it does exactly. So I noticed that where it's definitely thinning for me is up here, in this area.
That's okay. That's a very prestigious look.
But I also have been using, at Callum Lord's recommendation, is that stuff like that it's supposed to give
Minoxidil?
you. Yeah, exactly.
Really?
It works.
Really?
To keep you in. You have to put it back here. I feel the difference.
Oh, back here,
of it getting, I guess, because it grows from here. Your hair.
The-
Right. And I did also notice, which they don't tell you. They tell you only to put it in into the top of your head. But of course, I wasn't listening.
Wait,
to the
is it
rules.
Rogaine or Minoxidil?
Rogaine. I buy the cheaper one because the Rogaine is $50. They make another one that's half the price of that. But they tell you just to put the stuff there at the top of your head. But I started doing stuff like this and like putting it through and I think that was not good.
Really?
Yeah, I think that was not good.
In what sense?
In that I think if it's not back here, it might take your hair out. It might help
Really?
your hair to, or thin it, whatever. I don't know. So I stopped doing that. That could be me just totally making that up because that's what I felt, but I don't know for sure that it was doing that. So but I definitely noticed that it helps also with the hair not falling out. I stopped seeing clumps of hair in the shower when I took a shower. When I started using that.
Was your hair short?
My hair was short.
Okay.
Yes.
Because
I cut my hair when I first. I don't know why I waited so long because I really didn't like my long hair. All right, but everyone told
It's
me
a lot
that
of work.
It's a lot of work, and
right now I have like a half a bottle of detangler.
Yeah, but it's
there's
pain
a half
in
a
the
bottle of detangler to fight this COVID nattiness.
Not to mention you can't work. You cannot work with your hair hanging in your face. I can't. So I always had mine pulled back all the time, and hats. All right.
Right.
So for me, I couldn't wait to cut my hair.
Well, okay. Couldn't you have just simply cut your hair?
I could have, but I was just gonna say that, which was something I realized about myself that I wasn't too happy about, was that I was listening to people saying that I looked too butch with my hair short.
So what?
Exactly.
The
fact that
the
fact that I listened to it makes me angry at myself.
Just thinking about
All right, because why? Especially that I thought I would never take that from anybody and say, but so many of girlfriends that I had, early relationships, they just, like the long hair.
Well, okay, so this I understand because if it's related to your level of sexual activity, and somebody says, "Honey, if you let your hair go long, you can do it tonight." Okay,
okay. Well,
that is a reason to.
All
listen.
right, I can't say that I had that experience.
It's maybe not the most
I haven't
valuable
had that
thing
experience
out there.
one girl wanted me to dye my hair because I always had this little bit of gray, and she was like, "You look too old to be hanging around with me." She said, "Dye your hair." I said, "It ain't gonna happen."
That's a lesbian talking.
That is that.
Sorry, girls.
Sorry, ladies. Sorry, ladies. All right. Yes, that's 100%. 100%. All right. So no, I'm not dyeing my hair either. I love my gray hair.
I think it looks so fitting, especially
It works for me.
Like if you all know Jake out there, you'll see him walking. He's got like the motorcycle jacket and the jeans and the boots, and a little bit of gray streaks in the hair. It's perfectly befitting your young age and your stature, and I think it's super.
Thank you very much. I love it.
I think a salt and pepper man is sexy.
Yes, it's very sexy. All right.
Uber.
And I'm even getting the little white hairs coming out in the facial hair. I shaved today, by the way, because it was getting that's the same thing. I mean, if you keep shaving it, I really would love to grow a beard. I mean, I have I get the little bit here. I don't care. I would love it. I know it.
Okay.
All right. But mine comes in just here now, and then it comes in down here, which makes you look like that chicken neck thing, which I don't like.
Turkey neck.
Yeah, turkey neck. But I would love to be able to do that. And another F to M gentleman that I met a couple of months ago, he had a full beard, red too.
Really?
And yes, and he said he didn't have it either in the beginning, and it took him so long to get it.
Did he just like let it grow out?
You know what?
I
didn't ask him right then because we were installing his artwork, so I didn't ask him right then, and I'm sorry that I didn't get that chance because that's what I wanted to know. How did he do it?
You know what? It just dawned on me that most of the FTMs that I've met have like these great, like super proud, beards.
Yeah, I've seen a lot with it, and they have a full beard. Really nice. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna.
It'll happen, But did your father or like who on your?
That's what I was just gonna. I can tell you that he was not a hairy man.
Right.
He couldn't grow a beard.
Well, then I think you're probably just from genetics.
Right.
You probably take all the tea in the world.
Well, they're not going to give it all to me because believe me, I would be too. But yes, I think that's part of the reason is that he wasn't a hairy man, right? At all. I mean, he didn't really even have like hairy legs. He had no hair on his chest,
right?
Which I wouldn't hate that either. Having a little hair on the chest, but a friend of mine told me that they do in Turkey. I could go to Turkey. And apparently they have doctors there that will put the little...
Oh, my goodness. Like doing like a hair...
Yeah, exactly, but I'm not going to...
Look like...
First of all, how painful would that be?
Yeah.
That would be painful, too.
Well, right? I mean, you figure your scalp probably hurts more than your...
No, look, anything on the face, which is just to go back to what we talked about last week about the surgeries, anything in the head... All right.
Right.
First of all, is painful, and second of all, let's just say we go back to a second that you talking about the plastic surgery on your nose. It literally takes a minimum of a year for it to, and you should really, it's 2 years that it takes for it to heal.
Really?
And if you pull on your nose or pull on your face, you'll mess it up.
Sure.
I mean, you literally have to do nothing. You can't pull your lip down. All right, because if you do, it pulls down. Well, it's not even ripping it. No, forget about after the stitches. I'm talking about a year to 2 years after, before 2 years comes. Mm-hmm. If you pull, it'll pull it back down. Like you would have had your nose fixed.
Undone all the work.
Exactly.
Really?
Exactly. You cannot pull on it and your lip is very important. They told me that from one of the first surgeries. Do not try and close your lip. It'll naturally drop. Exactly, when the swelling goes down, but it's a year to 2 years.
So do you kind of like walk around with like your
you walk around up the whole... Well, you just have to, and I was very conscious of it too, so I didn't do it. I didn't, try to pull it down.
We're like, God, the last thing I want to do is do this all again.
This is what I'm trying to tell you, and it hurts like hell. Even just to construct. Now I had this surgery for medical reasons. All right, which of course is a lot more involved than just having the plastic surgery for cosmetic reasons. Mm-hmm. But still, it's very painful. So I didn't want to get back on that, but I just wanted to tell you that it takes a year to 2 years for it to heal. And you really can't mess with it. You can't, you have to be very...
Well...
Why do you think they wrap those women up like that when they get the tucks? And all that.
Yeah, but they're like out like in a couple of months. Like you see all these Hollywood people, they go and they have
go
a
out,
job
but
and they come back.
They go out, but it's not. But it's literally you can't see that it's not healed.
Right.
The swelling has gone down.
Right.
But literally,
it's not healed.
This area takes a very, very long time to heal.
Well, I'll cross that bridge.
Yeah, you will.
Point duly noted. So, what do you feel now? Let's talk about your age and your sense of perspective. I'm not going to say how old, Jake.
I don't care. I'm 59. 59. I'm proud of it. Doesn't bother me. My age the number never bothered me.
What perspective do you think that gives you in terms of like looking at, at life in general? Well, you know what? This is a good instance, right? We're both of a very similar age bracket,
Right.
and I think we have a very similar feeling towards this whole COVID stay-at-home order.
No, absolutely.
And ability to work. But I'm curious to hear, and I think that has to do with our age, right?
Oh, yes, you do become more mature in a sense, all right? And you realize, and things that you did, like, I'm not a drinker. But when I was younger, I would drink, all right, get drunk and get sick and be for 3 days sick.
Right.
All right. Now, when you're young, you do that to yourself. But when you get older, you say,
you're like, whoa,
I'm not
snap.
really a drinker. So why am I drinking?
Yeah, or you say, hey, no way I want to spend like the next day
throwing up.
Yeah, feeling bad. I got stuff to do tomorrow.
Yeah, that's another thing. So that, these are all the things that, there's so many things in life that you, at our age, or specifically my age, that you look at it and you say, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
No. When you're 30, you jump right into it. All right, even 40. But my age I never had a problem. Like, my mother was a real about her age. She didn't want anybody to know how, and she was devastated. 30, 40, 50, 60. It was like this big thing. I never had that. Did you have that?
Personally?
Personally, yeah.
No. Actually, my boss, not my former boss, because technically I'm
right.
laid off at the moment.
Right, like all of us.
Yeah. So I had this COVID issue, right?
Right, which was horrible. I saw it.
Thank you. But I didn't realize it at the time, right? So
No.
So my boss paid me a very nice compliment. We were talking yesterday, and he says, I was saying, hey, you know what? I think I had the COVID.
Right.
And he said, yeah, me too. And we were chatting about it for a second, and I said, yeah, because he didn't know about the blood clotting thing. And I was like, yeah, all these people that are like in their 30s and their 40s, they're all getting, the young people are going with blood clots. Right. He says, you know what this means? I was like, what? He goes, it means that you're still young. I was like,
very good.
Yes, that's correct.
That was very good.
I am still biologically a youngin'.
That's right. And it is all, but you know that too. I mean, it is all how you feel about it. It is not. I work as an art handler. I work with people that are half my age. I mean, literally 30 years younger than me. All right. And I'm right there with them doing the work.
Right.
And in fact, at the end of the day, they're all huffing and puffing, and I'm still going.
Hello.
All right. So for me, because it's your mental attitude.
Oh, 100%.
You either, if you feel, like you're old and decrepit, you're old and decrepit.
That's right.
If you feel young and because in our minds, that never goes away. We're young. I mean, you're the same age in your head, basically. You know what I mean.
Of course.
Yeah.
I feel, I often, when I look at my image, and I'm like, oh my God, who is that old person staring back at me? But I'm like, when did this happen?
Yeah, I don't like this thing either. And my mother used to do this. Wouldn't I look good if I was like that? And I was like, yeah.
But it's not going to happen.
Well, it can if you want to pay.
Sure.
But, yes, of course, gravity is gravity.
It's going to fight. It's going to win.
All right.
It's going to win day in each time, every time. But
because there's no getting away from it.
Yeah, but
unless you live in space.
I mentally feel super young.
Yeah, you can tell by the way you move. Absolutely. I mean, and that's a big thing too. And I also tell anybody out there, young people, the key to staying young is keep going.
Yeah, keep moving.
Keep doing stuff. And as physical as possible, don't hurt yourself, but keep moving because that's the key. That's the key. And nothing else.
To paraphrase, there's like this like very New York phrase, right? Which is keep it moving.
Keep it
right?
moving.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Come on, keep it moving. which is, I think, really, goes to that point.
Absolutely.
Because,
Absolutely.
One of the things that's killing me about like this current crisis that we're in is like I am not, first of all, not physically moving,
Right.
And I think my anxieties that I have. I mean, I'm not like
Yes.
anxious, but
No, but you're moving a lot all the time.
yeah.
She doesn't take a minute.
Jake used to say, "Do you come home? I never hear you." It's because I was working like 70, 80 hours a week doing event production. Then I was like
And
DJing
then you were
at
doing
night.
the DJing.
And I'd be
and
rolling
not in
in
close
at like
places either.
I was going out to Jersey. Woo. I'd be rolling in at like 2 a.m.
I never knew
getting
she
like
was in.
5 hours worth of sleep. Before I had to go run right back
And
out
then
again,
you
and I
were
loved
up
it.
and gone.
And that was, I think that physically keeps me
Without
young,
a doubt.
and I would advise it to anybody else.
Me too. Keep moving.
Yeah.
Don't stop. I mean, you hear the stories all the time about people who retire and die.
Die. Boom. 1, 2, 3.
And they get so depressed, and they this because you feel useless. You feel like you're not doing.
Yeah, nothing to do. You're not being productive. I think it's such an important part.
It's very important
of humanity is to feel productive. We as people, and you constantly make the comment like, so yeah, lots of people like don't have a job or going crazy and
having to stay home.
But except for the people with an artistic and creative bend, because we're all taking this time to go, oh, wait a minute.
I can do this.
I can do this. I
And
can do this. I can do
exactly.
this. I've got something that I can add. I can take advantage of this time and keep moving.
Absolutely.
Keep.
And as an artist, I mean, my friend Juliet, who you still have to meet, she was saying the same thing at the beginning of this. She's an artist as well, and she was like, artists, we're used to this. We're
Right.
used to
Having
putting
no
ourselves,
job.
and putting ourselves in our studio to work.
Right.
To constantly keep doing something and working and
Self-discipline.
working. Right. So it makes perfect sense, and was talking to Enrique as well, who's a musician, amazing jazz
Right up the street.
performer, right over here. And he said the same thing. He stinks that he lost all his gigs and everything else, but he's home.
Right.
He just finished his 3rd CD. So, I mean, as I think artists are thriving artistically, they don't have any money.
Right.
None of us have any money, but artistically, I think we're
making things
thriving.
happen.
We wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for it.
No, a couple of weeks ago, I started making like a schedule. Like, okay, I need to make a schedule. I'm gonna broadcast on these days. I was like, Jake, let's do a podcast. Let's start on Tuesdays. Boom. Okay. I think that sense of purpose helps. At least helps give me some sense of structure to the time. And sense of purpose.
And I've never been bored. I don't understand that term. I just don't. I've never in my life been bored.
Was that because of you or because of your parents?
Maybe it could. Well, I guess I learned it. I might have learned it through them, or because my father worked for 35 years at the same job. He ended up owning the company, and it wasn't like he was just a schlepper.
Beautiful.
All right. And he never took a sick day.
Yeah, of course.
Never once. And you know what he used to say? He used to say, I don't allow myself to get sick. And we used to laugh at that, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
He literally put it, this is how strong our minds are and our bodies are. If you tell yourself you're not going to get sick, all right, I mean, again, if you're in the room with a very deadly virus and you're sucking down the wind, you're going to get sick. But,
Understood, of course.
This was, he worked 2 jobs, 3 jobs sometimes.
Right, and you could, and I know in my household, like, you could never be bored.
Oh, no,
Because
wasn't
if
my mother was like, here, I'll give you something to do.
Exactly. Really?
Come on.
Growing up, we had this big, I grew up on a farm of all places.
My God, how much fun.
Oh my God, it was amazing. We had
always thought that was
had
cool.
cows and pigs and yada. But our garden was huge. It was like really big, and because we had cows and pigs, we had a lot of manure, so things grew like crazy.
Well, that's what they love. That.
Yeah. But if we ever like.
Oh yeah, no, you couldn't say that in my house.
Made it sound like we were bored to my parents. The next thing you know, I'd be out there in the garden
Oh yeah,
pulling,
my
stuff
parents were
out
the
of the
same.
out
I'll
of the
give you
ground.
something to do.
Yeah.
But from very early on, I mean, I never used that word.
Right.
I'm bored. And these kids today, that's all they say. I mean, if you're not constantly entertaining them, 24/7, have some activity for them to do, they're bored. What? Read a book. Sit, meditate.
I think that's hard to do in today's society.
Read a book.
Well, not
That's sad. That's sad about our society, though.
I agree. I don't know how. Like, I really haven't given this that much thought, other than to notice that in today's cell phone driven, laptop, tablet society. Actually, and there was a study that just came out where if they were looking at children, and this just came out in the news, I think last week or something. They were doing a study where children that spend a lot of their time, especially at the very young age, on tablets.
On the screens, it's no good.
That they have developmental issues.
Of course they do.
Because these computers, I mean, they're designed to engage you. So what happens is you just get tunnel visioned.
It's ridiculous. I heard when my nieces and nephews were growing up, I would be at my sister's house and watching the cartoons, and a commercial would come on to tell kids to go outside and play.
Yeah.
In my house, I'm sure it was the same with you. I mean, you got up in the morning. If it was the weekend, you went out. You came home when it got dark.
When the street lights were on.
Nobody said.
Oh yeah.
Nobody made us go out. I mean,
I couldn't
it's
wait.
amazing to me.
So I used to have my friend Russ, and I couldn't wait till we could get our bikes, and the second we could go off on our own, we would go right down to Stevens Pond and spend all day, and then we'd be rushing to
get back before it got dark.
Yeah, because we'd be in trouble.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, going out was who wanted to be home?
Who wanted to stay home?
And I think that made people robust.
I think so too, and I think that's it. It also contributes to the obesity here in the United States. All right, that so many people are obese.
That's due to the sugar industry paying Harvard professors to release papers saying that sugar was good for you.
Yeah. Well,
that was money.
Yeah, of course, like everything else. But you have to get up and do things, no matter what. Okay, no matter how old you are or whatever it is. Find something you like to do and do it.
So this is another theory that I've come up with regarding the COVID. Right, that's what I'm gonna call it from now on, the COVID. That's a very Southern thing to do, put the before anything.
Yeah, right.
Where you going? I'm going to the Walmart. I'm going to. What do you got? I got the COVID. I think it's related to sugar, in the human body.
The obesity or the
well, it hits right there. Why are the poor people?
Because they eat crappy food.
Yeah, it's all high carbohydrate, high sugar,
and high salt too.
Right,
it's all bad.
And it nails all the people with diabetes.
Absolutely.
The
area that we live in is one of the highest of asthma and diabetes.
It would be great if somebody, Dr. Fucci, could come out.
Oh, I love him.
I think he's great. Thank goodness.
I thought that was so cute that he asked for Brad Pitt to play him.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt nailed it.
He did. He was great. Oh, I love Brad Pitt.
If you don't know what we're talking about, somebody says if somebody was going to play you, Dr. Fucci, who would you want to play? And he says, I like Brad Pitt.
I like Brad Pitt.
The next weekend on SNL,
they did it.
Brad Pitt opened with playing Dr. Fucci, and he did a great job.
Yeah, he did. He really. I like him anyway.
Brad Pitt?
Yeah. I don't like what he did to what's her name, but that was Angelina.
What he did to Angelina Jolie?
No, what he did to the one before her.
Oh, Jennifer Aniston.
One, right.
But
who knows? We don't know anything about their lives. I mean, this is the crap year on television.
Yeah.
Who even knows?
They're going to do their own thing, right?
Whatever.
So,
And what I always say is none of their money is going in my pocket.
that's right, exactly.
So you know what? They can do whatever they want.
Ain't paying my rent.
The day their money's going in my pocket, I'll care.
Exactly.
That'll be the day I care.
No, you know, I didn't like him. I did not like him for a long time.
Really, 'cause I think he's a really good actor.
Okay, so I really liked. You know what? It was one movie. It was the movie where he's like the younger brother. It's set
I
back
know
in the
in the
Midwest.
wood where they go fishing.
Yeah.
They do the fly fishing.
And then like the father dies and he goes off and he comes back. Anyway,
I think that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, and everybody pines for him, but like he does his own thing. Anyway,
I know which one you're talking about. That one was great.
See,
You
I
didn't
didn't
like him
it.
there.
I didn't like his character.
Oh,
in that. I thought he
wow.
did a good job, but
Yeah, he did a good job.
I was so
he
mad
blew
at
off
his
that
character.
girl.
Yeah. To like travel around the world.
Yeah.
And she ends up by marrying his brother.
Exactly.
And
And that hot actress that played.
Yeah, she was gorgeous.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
my
was
goodness.
great. That's
What I don't understand is like why she wasn't like, you know, okay, real life situation. You're looking at two brothers. One of them's like crazy running off, and the other one's like
Yeah,
a
but she knew-
congressman.
Yeah. But wasn't there something too that she felt guilty for the other brother, or sad, or I guess she felt sorry for him?
There was always
we're getting
like,
off on a crazy tangent here.
Anyway, so I didn't like Brad Pitt for that movie because I was so mad at that character.
That you didn't, yeah, but that's happened to me before with other people. But I always liked him, and he was what was it the seven did not the Seven, it was just called Seven.
Seven,
with Kevin Spacey.
Yes,
Who was the horrible
Morgan-
serial killer?
Morgan Freeman.
Oh my God!
What an amazing
Gwyneth Paltrow was
film.
in that too. That was he was his wife.
Oh,
That was amazing, but that
Don't look
was
in the box.
horrible.
Don't look in the box. Don't look in the box.
And he ended up killing him. Oh, sorry.
I mean, film's been out for like 20 years.
It's an old film.
If you ever get a chance,
he was good in that.
Seven and Meet Joe Black.
I like that too. I thought he was really good in that too.
Very endearing in that.
He was
movie.
great in the Inglorious Bastards.
I didn't
Is
see
that
that.
what? And I might be saying the title wrong.
No. That was the name of the film, but I didn't
right.
see it.
Oh my God! But he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got it. What we gonna do? We gonna kill ourselves some Nazis. And then he'd make them all. And what are we doing? We're gonna be killing
when did that
Nazis.
come out?
Oh, it's a while ago. He was still even young, Brett. I mean, not super young, but I don't know. You'd have to look it up. That's what's his name film?
Quentin. Yeah, Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino. Yeah.
The other one that I think he was really good in Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
I didn't see that one.
See, now that's...
because he's with Jolie in that one. I didn't like that. I don't really like her.
Really?
Yeah, she's hot and everything, but
there's a grace about her.
Yeah, I mean, she's
like
definitely
her and like
beautiful.
Gigi Hadid and
she's beautiful. But I think I just don't like what I see of her personality. What do I know? Do I know her? I don't know her.
I like Angelina Jolie. I can understand why people
don't like her. Yeah,
don't like her because there are some things that are potentially off-putting.
Right, but he was also great in the two movies where they do all the stealing, the Ocean's 11, and if you watch the scenes,
see, I'm not a big fan of Ocean's 11.
Oh, I really liked it, but he's great in it, and in every scene, which is something I don't know how many people picked up. I don't know if you picked it up. He's eating.
Really?
And it's just the way he does it, the way he's doing like this with the napkin, and it's, to me, I just loved it. I thought he was amazing.
Really?
He's always eating. Watch it. In every scene that he's in, he's eating something. One time it's a hot dog, another time he's got shrimp cocktail. I mean, I'm telling you, it was amazing. I just always remember. I don't know why that stuck with me.
Activity.
With him holding the napkin in his hand while he's talking and he's eating, and then he would just go like this. Not that he would wipe his face or anything.
Right.
It was just
but
a little movement
with
his hands. I don't know. That for some reason that stuck with me.
A little undercurrent of realism.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? You've been to Vegas, right?
No, I have never been to Las Vegas.
Really?
Atlantic City. When I drove a limousine, I went there a lot.
Atlantic City is
no,
not
it's not.
like
It's
Vegas.
Yeah. It's the.
You've got about 50 feet. That's like Vegas.
Oh yeah, no, I know it's not all the same. as Vegas. But I'm not a gambler. Are you a gambler? Do you like gambling?
Nope. I mean, I enjoy like playing cards, but like playing, like literally, in my family,
We did in my house too.
Right, you play cards. You play
canasta.
nickels.
My mother used to play canasta, which is like bridge, but it isn't.
No, but we used to play like a little bit of blackjack and.
Oh yeah! I mean,
and we play like literally nickel dimes quarters, right?
Every holiday, my
Yes.
father had the freaking
Big table.
the felt table
Ooh.
with the things. He had the thing with the chips, the whole thing.
Really?
Oh, my grandparents, my uncle, aunts, they all sat there.
Yeah, and you know what? They had a great time.
That's what at the end of after everybody ate.
Yep. That
They
was
went- and that-
exactly like
great-
my family.
Right. My step grandmother I was telling you about, who used to smoke Kents, who I don't even think they have them anymore. She used to make I was her good luck. She used to
Rub you for good luck.
and I would just sit there because I don't
Wait
like
a minute.
cards.
Did she do this too?
But I
Did she
liked
like
watching.
give people the horns?
No. She wasn't like that. But of course,
That
the
was my
Italian
grandmother, if
horns
you
is
want-
a big. Well,
Hey,
the horns are a thing. I mean, that's give you.
My grandmother used to do that to everybody at the table.
Yeah, the real Italian. I mean, people
we're
really
not
believed
Italian.
in that.
Yeah.
But we have that every time after that they had the chips. They did the whole thing. Everybody smoked and drank
Right.
and whatever.
They had a good time and they enjoyed themselves, and that was your big takeaway. Is like
It was. It was
how
fun.
enjoyable each holiday was, and how you would look forward to it.
And look how simple. And
Yes.
another thing that doesn't happen with this society that we're in now because of these things. And I'm not dissing us using this equipment. We have to do this, but this is not this.
Like what we're doing right now. By the way, again, sorry if we're not looking at the camera enough because it's not.
And that's part of the human condition too. We need as human beings to have this connection, not this one.
Right.
Not seeing you through this.
It's thank goodness we have those because we
Yes.
can communicate with people at different times.
I love the fact that this thing
Like
right
this-
now is
like
my
right
whole
now?
thing.
Yeah, it's your whole life.
Right. Because I don't have internet, and Nikki's going to help me get a new computer. But no, this is a problem for the society that we live in now, because I'm telling you.
I think
And I hope I'm not going to offend anybody out there in internet land in your 20s and 30-year-olds. I mean,
I think we're going to grow past this. I think there's a next evolution about to happen.
What? Well, the
Technology.
What do you mean, like the?
I don't know what it is, but I think cell phones. Think about like what we're holding. These cell phones that we have, right? That came out of sort of nowhere.
Not really. They had them on
Star Trek.
But they did.
No, you're right.
Those flip phones were the original phones.
You're right. The communicator.
Come on. They were though.
But yes. But it started out as just like a communicate. I mean, it wasn't like I remember the rotaries, right?
Oh, me too.
Right. And then I remember the first phones that came out, and then like around 2000 whatnot.
Yeah,
and
I don't
it
even
wasn't
know
that
the
long. It was
time.
only 20 years ago.
Yes.
When they were like flip phones and
I'm 20 years with Sprint.
It was
I got mine late, but
AT&T had the one where like you could push to talk. There was like
people were sending me
radio-
text messages. I didn't even know what they were.
We were still using pagers.
So many people had those.
Right.
Had beepers.
And so this touch screen phone, this amazing technological
amazing.
device we have, it
But
sort
they
of
had it from the
came out of
military a
nowhere.
long time before we got our hands on it. The GPS and all the.
Sadly, the military creates a lot of the stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
we
Yeah,
have today.
that's really.
But I think that this was an unexpected thing.
Really.
And I
know,
think
I
we're
think-
reaching the max of what it can do, and I think that people are. I don't think you and I are alone in feeling that.
Oh yeah, that it's you need to get away from it.
Yes, that okay. We've had our adolescence with this technology.
Yeah.
It's time to move on to the next step, and I think there's all these cool things that are happening out there that
Well, so, I mean,
somebody's going to come up with the next wacko thing.
Right.
Like they thought it was going to be the VR Google. The
Yeah.
the
That hasn't
glasses.
caught on yet as much.
No.
Interestingly enough.
Well, I kind of thought it would, but it's kind of clunky when they can do that same thing and it's a glass. When it's glasses like the ones you're wearing.
Yeah, but they did have. There was actually a woman here in the Bronx that I, met, and she, Google or whoever it was, hired her to wear the things, wear the glasses with the little recorder on it.
Yes.
It had the mic, you could record and video. It was the whole thing. We're supposed to be able to, then you see what your eyes see.
Right.
Basically. All right. And they gave her money. It wasn't a lot of money. She practically volunteered. But she had to go.
Probably a couple of years ago, right?
This was in 2013.
Yeah, I think for some reason, they stopped that particular project.
Because I thought it sucked anyway. Excuse me.
There's also, I think, a rights, that we're getting into privacy issues.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
The
face recognition and all that.
Well, yeah.
Bad.
We keep giving away our rights, and like with the apps that they're doing on the phone right now for the COVID tracing, it's starting from a good place. But listen, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I don't want to take this down this conspiracy. That's a completely different podcast.
Right. And but I think that it's.
I think we're headed for a time when we do start to pull out of this.
Well, I think we better.
And I think people are, I think that there's people like you and I, who remember the time before, the time before computers, the time before cell phones.
We were totally fine.
Yeah, we lived. Bicycles without helmets, and we made it.
Yes, of course, it's dangerous and all that other stuff, but we did it. We made it.
Yeah, amazing.
I'm sure there were kids that didn't make it too. I mean, I'm sure it happens. If anybody really checked, but we all made it. We also early on, my sister and all the kids in school had the phone, and my sister wouldn't give them that young, which I happen to agree with. And, it's good for an emergency. We were in emergencies.
We managed to figure it out.
We managed to be okay. I don't think, the people use it as an excuse, but, sorry.
It's a justification.
Yeah, it's a justification to do it, but no, not. But if I had kids, they wouldn't be getting it.
I think we remember enough to, and maybe this is why this is a good kind of a mechanism so that we are archiving these memories to sort of pay it forward.
It's a teaching tool. Well, it was like television could have been the most incredible vehicle for learning. Instead, it became a mind suck and a money grabbing thing. But that when television first came out, that was the whole point of it, was to educate.
Right.
All right. It wasn't about, how many hours could you sit there focused on that screen? All right.
Did you ever see Mr. Rogers? Do you ever see Mr. Rogers' testimony?
Yes, it was amazing. He was amazing.
Was that one of the most
purest? He was the most unbelievable.
Yes.
He was amazing.
And he was speaking so from the heart.
I want to see the movie with Tom Hanks.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and they say in fact, he was even worried about it too, Tom, portraying it properly. Some of the clips that I saw, they look amazing. I mean, that whole, first of all, the song, how could you not know the song? I sing it, I don't know if you hear me. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And that whole thing about the way he took off his sweater, and then he took off his shoe, he changed his shoes.
Yep.
All right. And it was an amazing show, and it also did things that, were way ahead of its time. Way, way ahead of it. Pee Wee Herman, too. In that show Pee Wee Herman had, his Playhouse. Did you ever watch that show?
I did, but I don't think I wouldn't give Pee Wee Herman...
It was a learning tool. He was the first one to put Spanish.
Really?
Absolutely. Maybe Channel 13 might have done it. Sesame Street might have done it. But he was very...
Wait a minute, no. The Villalegre. Did you guys have that? We had this up in the Boston area.
No.
Okay, so there would be Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers,
Sesame Street and
Mr. Rogers. The Electric Company.
Well, that was great. What about?
Well, there was one called Villalegre.
Okay,
that one I remember the theme song too. It was like da 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 Villalegre.
Oh, that's funny because I don't know. That must have been the area because it wasn't around here. I didn't have that. No,
that was just, and you know what? I haven't thought of that show.
Really? It's amazing.
Forever. And I'm wondering if that's why I find it easy to understand Spanish. You know, like I am not a...
Right.
Of Hispanic, and I never studied Spanish, but I can I easily kind of get by at all the bodegas and cochinas, and it just it's natural for me. Like I'm not scared of it. Another reason why where TV could have gone.
Yes. The TV could have gone so many places. Instead, it went to the worst possible place it could go. All right, and I feel sad. That's sad for that. But those kind of shows that were on, I mean, these kids today, they don't have. I mean, I'm sorry, Bugs Bunny.
Genius. Still. Genius.
Well, and they were originally for adults. They weren't originally even made for children. They were never made for children. They were made for adults. I mean, back then in old times, like me.
Okay, you know what? Nice little tie-in. Bugs Bunny. Always cross-dressing.
Absolutely.
Always cross-dressing.
Even Elmer Fudd did.
That's right. Elmer Fudd did.
And they did drugs.
Yeah, they did all sorts of.
They did drugs. They did psychedelic drugs. Okay. I think monsters are the most interesting.
Oh my goodness! Yes.
Are you kidding? I could recite. Okay. The Little Red Riding Hood one. The 5 o'clock whistle's on the blink. The whistle won't blow, so what do you think? You don't know that one?
No, I do know that.
My father's at work at the factory, but he doesn't know what time it happens to be. When she's Little Red Riding Hood is skipping along. And the note on the door. Grandma leaves a note on the door. She's doing the swing shift at Lockheed. But you have to be old to know what that means. If you read the note, that's what Grandma says. Doing the swing shift at Lockheed. You all younger people are not going to know what that is.
Rosie the Riveter.
Right, exactly. Lockheed made planes for the war.
They still do.
They still do. I was joking on the water. They still do. They absolutely still do.
The way. Well,
what about what was the other one?
I was going to say Kill the Rabbit.
Yeah. Well, come on, Bugs Bunny, but that's true. Bugs Bunny was always cross-dressing.
Yeah,
and he looked good.
Looked amazing.
He looked good.
Bromhilda.
Come on, they were great. You can't even find them anymore. You can't get them. They don't show them anymore.
No, they don't show them. But you know, they're like on YouTube.
I
know because like I sat my daughter down at a young age
and said,
I'm going to introduce you to every Warner Brothers Bugs Bunny that there is, because you have to see it at least once, and the Three Stooges.
Okay, I love the Three Stooges too, which apparently it's they're not supposed to be popular with women. The Three Stooges, the slapstick, but they're funny.
They're funny as F.
They're funny as hell. But that's a subject I really want to get on with you. Not today because we're almost done, but.
Oh shit.
Your whole, because that experience with having a child, and then transitioning. How I mean, we can go back to this next week.
They're separate. Yeah, we could definitely go talk about it.
What do you mean they're separate?
So,
I mean, how does she? Can I ask you that question? Is that too personal? How?
No, I mean,
does your daughter? How did your daughter?
So it's still evolving.
Okay, well, I'm sure. Yes.
You know what? Let's save it for because
because it's a longer.
This could go.
Yes. But I'm. That's something that I'm very curious about. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm very curious about that. Because that would be a hurdle. That would be a big one.
That was my whole life is about her, and
that's with most parents. I think
it's what you're supposed to do.
That's
the way you're supposed to do.
And if you're not doing that, and you've had kids, then you made a mistake.
Exactly. Social constructs or not.
Yeah, you made a mistake.
If you have a kid, it's your responsibility, and you shouldn't even look at it as a responsibility.
No, it's supposed to be what you want.
That's right.
You picked it.
That's right. And so, but also there is a duty.
Absolutely. And it's forever. I mean, it's not that, yes, they get older and they leave the house and blah, blah, blah. But as a parent, even though I am not a parent, you have that connection with this individual
Always.
that they'll always be your child.
Yeah.
It's not. Yes, they get older. They grow up.
I have
they
a
get married.
bunch of stories. Let me save it for the next time because
All right,
I don't want to dilute it.
Yeah, don't do
'Cause,
it. We're gonna talk about that next time.
I'll also
if
make
anyone
sure
else-
not to take any estrogen before I start talking about this because I will be bawling.
All right, but that's okay. That's okay. You know, even with the, you know, I was a crybaby. I was, and I'm still,
Really?
and I'm still, yeah, not a crybaby. And you got hurt. You know, like I got physically
You
hurt,
want
kind of a
wuss.
crybaby. No. But I'm very emotional,
Right.
very emotional, and you know. I'm not going to get into it, but you know, my father used to, as soon as I would start, if he was reprimanding me, which he was on, we're not going to get into this, but my father was very verbally abusive and emotionally abusive. And as soon as that one, I would start tearing up, and then he would just go at me.
Ooh.
And don't cry, I don't want you, you know, that's always what you do. You cry, so of course that makes you cry.
Yeah, you
more.
can't stop.
All right, but it's something that, you know, I've always been very sensitive about because of that. But crying, the estrogen.
Do you cry less?
I do not. I do not.
Really?
The testosterone has not stopped me from crying.
Really?
No.
Like still the stupid stuff. Like you're watching TV.
A commercial or
Hallmark
something.
TV, that still hits you?
Not that I see certain things that
So-
makes me cry. Movies, forget it. I'm like, what?
Okay, It's a Wonderful Life.
It's not about testosterone or the estrogen does, but testosterone doesn't stop you from crying.
Well, I just thought that it would reduce that
It
emotional
didn't for me.
context.
Maybe it does for other
Really?
people. Not for me. Not for me. In fact, I was a little bit sometimes saying I'm not
Well,
supposed
to be honest, that sucks. Like
Yeah, exactly.
that's what I'm
No,
so-
but it's just I think that's another which we can get on this subject
it's
too
a-
at another time about how the gender thing that, you know, men are not supposed to cry and not I mean that's a horrible thing that they teach young boys and young men not to cry.
Well, yes, because it tends to cause you to repress all sorts of things, right?
It's horrible. You should cry. Man, woman, whatever.
Well, no, so now my current takeaway is how it's like doing your nails. You know, you do your nails and you can't move for like 30 minutes while you're waiting for them to set. It's like the same thing with me. It's like, oh no, don't start crying again.
Yes. Plus,
it's gonna ruin your makeup.
Plus, you're getting it in a whole different. You know what I mean? The way you started. You know, you take the hormone or whatever.
Right.
I mean, I think it must be very different than growing up female. You know what I mean? And having it in your body and being that way. It doesn't. You know, it's not like you got slammed with it. Sort of. Not really.
Maybe you know.
But
Maybe
did
the
you never
difference
cry was it before the transition?
No,
Were you never-
I will be honest, right? That I could tell you some key like things that are gonna like set me off, right?
Right.
Like Frank Capra movies, right? Something about like Jimmy Stewart, you know, Mrs. Smith goes to
all
Washington.
the ones
It's
that
a
are like,
Wonderful-
I love the happy endings. I mean, I'm always crying at the happy endings.
Right, and like you know, It's a Wonderful Life. Like, and my daughter knows, like it's like clockwork.
Right, you're gonna start crying.
That at the very end of the movie, you know the movie,
Of
right?
course, who doesn't know?
Right, when he goes, to my brother,
Yeah, right.
the richest man in town. Like every time, every year, and I would religiously watch that because I felt that the values in that movie are
Well, it is. It's so many values that we
Are
don't see
valuable.
anymore.
simple and honest, you know.
Yes, sincere and believing in something and
Right.
and
Sacrifice
fighting for what.
and,
Yeah,
and discipline
absolutely. And it sheds a good light on suicide as well in
Yeah.
a way. I mean,
yeah, what a topic. That it's all
yeah, I
about,
mean,
right?
but that's what we're gonna talk about next week. We're gonna talk about Nikki's experience
my
transitioning
my
with a child
crying. Oh, okay, yeah, good, yes.
and the crying too. Well, the crying is, I mean, you know,
No, but now it's so those like one of the trigger factors, like you know, just like watching these old movies that speak to somebody's earnestness and like
Right.
good character, right?
And I like when the underdog wins. That makes me cry.
That's American, right? That's America.
I mean, that's come on, I mean,
Rudy,
you know.
right?
Yeah,
the
come on,
last scene of Rudy.
I'd be crying my freaking head off.
Yeah, but there's more to like. in a conversation with
Oh,
somebody.
I know, and you
Somebody
get
will
choked
say
up.
something, and
Baby.
I'll be like, oh,
Go
stop, and then
go
you can't stop.
Go through menopause, and you'll really see what crying is about.
Really? Well, I
You
may
will
not.
really. I'm telling you, okay. It is like you just can't, and it also it takes you to you go the whole spectrum. It's crying, Jags, and angry.
Really?
My mother going through menopause was a scary person.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, she just 1 minute she was crying, and the next minute she was screaming, throwing stuff. I mean,
Really? Did she ever like normalize out, or was it just?
Eventually, yeah. Once
Right.
yeah. But I'm telling you, for me, and it all women are different, and it is hereditary. But the way you go through menopause and is directly, has to do with, again, heredity. If
Right.
if your mother went through it bad and your grandmother, but
Chances
a lot
are-
of women don't even realize it. Or they say it didn't bother them. They didn't have any. But the emotion, the is for me. It
Well,
was
they may
horrible.
not see it because, forest for the trees.
It was horrible. The emotional roller coaster from menopause was horrible. I hated it so much. I couldn't. When it got to the point where I couldn't make a decision with my art what color fabric to use,
Uh-oh.
I was losing it. All right, I was
And
like.
did you
and-
recognize that was happening?
Yes. But it's still, you can't change it.
Right. Well,
You can't stop it.
could you have transitioned and
Been
fought
through-
it? No, I guess not. Right?
I was already over with menopause by the time I started transitioning.
I know, but what I'm
so-
saying is that if you were on,
Can you bypass it? No, I don't think so. But there's nothing you can do because that's it. This is your body. It's biological. It's like women who
Right.
who get hysterectomies at a young age before they go through. It's what they
early menopause.
Yeah, but it's like they call it something else, like forced menopause, and it's like bam.
Oh, really? It's like a
Yeah.
slam in the brakes.
It's like a total thing because your body's not. It's not your body's saying, "Whoa, you're too young. You're not
Right.
supposed to be doing this now. You're wait,
right.
danger." All right, so you don't, but I've known. I have a couple of friends that unfortunately had to have hysterectomies at a young age, and it was terrible. It was really, really, very, very uncomfortable, physically, emotionally, everything. Which is sad.
Yeah, but and fortunately, well,
Fortunately,
okay,
yeah.
I think I'm not going to have to endure.
I
that.
don't. Yeah. Well, no, I don't think so. I mean, I've never heard that.
I haven't heard. If anybody out there,
Right, but I have
knows
heard about
that it exists.
younger male to female actually feeling like they have cramps and things like that after they started taking estrogen, but that could be very psychological.
Yeah, I would
Clearly.
think that would have to be psychological.
Yeah, because you don't. Why would
your
you
body's
have
not
cramps?
trying to flush anything out, and plus, like you're taking it daily. It's not
Yeah,
like
yeah. So I mean,
it's not like birth control. Like you're like 3 weeks on, 1 week off.
yeah, no. See, I personally think that it's. I don't think it can happen. Really,
No,
it
I-
might be happening in somebody's mind, and they think because if you believe it's happening, it's happening. I mean, you know that from
Yeah.
from the Matrix.
Red, blue.
Right. I mean, if and we are like that. If in your mind you believe something, it's real. It's whether it's really happening or not. It's real because your mind is telling you that it's real.
Yes. However, I don't. I'm curious. Now that's certainly something I'm going to look up.
We've got definitely. I'm saying I heard this from people. They wasn't like a study that I read.
Right. Anecdotally.
All right. Right. There's a young woman that started transitioning actually, but she's much younger than me, and went male to female. I mean, I have to show you her. Are we still recording?
Oh yeah, we're still recording.
All right.
We're still broadcasting.
So I don't want to say her name, just
Okay.
in case of anything. But after we're off,
Sure,
I'll
sure.
show you. I mean, the difference in her physically is
But was she young, right?
remarkable. She's 25.
Oh yeah.
But
Okay.
she's the one I heard. Well, she's one of the ones that I heard that said she actually felt like she had cramps.
That okay. So now maybe we are talking about like that kind of brings it.
Psychological.
That kind of brings it into the closer to the realm of possibility. Because I've seen some of these young girls that that are transitioning, and they transitioned at like in Brazil at like 16 years old or whatnot, and like and you look at them, you're like, honey, you look I would have thought you were a cisborn, right?
Right. This girl looks like that too.
Yeah, I think they start getting the hormones young enough where
Yeah.
it's like either delayed puberty. I'm not sure what
Well,
to call
25,
it.
you're already out of puberty, aren't you?
Yeah,
Out
but you're
of
still your body's still
puberty?
growing,
Oh, of course.
right?
Please, come
So
on. It's
at that age, that's what I feel.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, we a little bit started talking about that, about whether transitioning now at our age or
Right.
versus doing it when you're actually going through
It's
puberty and
completely
adolescence.
different.
It would have to be. I mean, and
There's something we have to accept that. Like I say, I always say, I've been testosterone poisoned for so long. It's going to be hard to
right.
to get rid of the effects.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Did you know what your testosterone level was before? Do you have any idea?
Well, when I say
what that-
testosterone, I'm like making a joke. Like,
Oh, right.
okay.
Okay, I missed that. It went right over my birthday head.
Well, so with that,
With that, we're going to say goodbye.
let's say goodbye.
I really have to go to the bathroom.
oh, sorry. Once again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Yes.
Jake. Wish everybody please send Jake your happy birthday wishes.
Oh, it's all right. I know you're out there.
And
Thank you very much. It was nice to spend my birthday here
Same here.
with you. Thank you.
Bye.